Hi friends, in the last two videos we were discussing about logical functions, especially more about if functions. So now we are going to discuss some other variety of if functions such as sum if and count if. Sum if is a function that helps us to filter the data in accordance with the criteria we give. So it is very important in data analysis. So you are requested to watch the previous videos, that is lesson 12 and 13, before watching this video. So let us begin. You know the meaning of sum and the meaning of if. That means if some criteria is satisfied, then sum the values. So let us see the function. Function is before that. So we have a database with the sales on, salesman, model number, color, and total sales. So we want to find out the total sale of salesman Ajmal. So for that we use sum if. Sum if Ajmal is the criteria. Sum if, then just see the syntax. That is, syntax is range, then criteria. What is the range? Range is, because we know that salesman, because from where we can pick Ajmal. So here salesman, we select the range, then range address is shown here, comma. Then for details of range and range address, you have to watch the lesson 1 and lesson 3 and lesson 4. Lesson 1 we describe range and some other details about the reference about the range or the value difference, make some reference to the rest that is described in other chapters. So please go to lesson 1, lesson 3 and lesson 4 for better understanding about this. Okay, then range we selected, then we have one criteria. Criteria is the salesman named Ajmal. So then we selected that. Then we have some range, that is some range is total sales, it is to be summed. So okay, then press OK. So we get the value 51,000. So just for we can press the control key and select here Ajmal, here also, then here also we selected it. So this total it will be, sorry, selection there are. So Ajmal you have to select, this is Ajmal, then again here Ajmal, and again here Ajmal. So it is 51,000. Here also we get 51,000. Okay, so this is the status bar. Status bar displays some details. So we can customize the status bar by clicking here. We can customize the status bar. We can tick the values we require. Just for your information, it is explained here. Okay, then 51,000 we got. Next is equal to sum if. Then we have the color black. We have to pick up the sales of black mobile. So it is picked up from the color range. So that is a range here. Click here. Then the criteria is black. Then again we have to sum if the color is black. So that's also we got it. We can check here by selecting the values, that is black color, by pressing control button you can select. Then here these are the blacks, 29,250. We can also see it here, 29,250. So just mentioned here how to check the values. So similarly, next is sum if according to the model number. So model number we have to select the range here, comma, then model we can obtain from here, then comma, then again some value is this. The selection remains here until we press the enter. So we got this. In this way we can sum with a criteria. So after finding here, we have Ajmal's total sales. Suppose we want Mukesh, then just we can select here and copy, then paste here. So what happens? We get the value here. Suppose we want Ajas, then you just type Ajas here, whatever spelling it is case sensitive, not case sensitive. So then we can get Ajas value. So why this happens? Because in the formula we have given the cell address, not the you can see that is when selected here, the what is the name here, Ajas is shown here. That is when double clicking here we can get the Ajas name here. Okay, then whatever value here in this H13, that is a cell address, we get the result of that one, that value. It is because of relative, that is a reference is into this cell H13. So similarly we can get the values when you give the change the color here gray, then we get the value of gray. That is, suppose you type gray here, then the value is changed. In this way, we can get the sales result. Suppose we want all the salesman's report here, then we have to list the salesman and total sales here, and similarly here also we have to fill the data. Then what is we have to use a function to obtain the unique names of the salesman. That is, we use is equal to unique, then have here select the range here, then press enter. So when we get this using names from using a formula, there will be reference here. So we have discussed this in about reference and reference errors in previous videos, lesson 3. You may go there and find the solution. So for avoiding these reference errors, we copy this and paste as values. So there will be no problem. Then we can, suppose we may sort it also. Just right click here, and here we can sort from X. So continue with this sort. Okay, so for the special purpose I sorted that. Okay, then is equal to some if, then select the range, then comma, the salesman's name, we selected the cell, then total sales, that also we select the range. Okay, we got here, we can format with okay, then click and drag, then we can check what happens. So suppose here Ajmal, we can check here by typing Ajmal here. So Ajmal value actually it is 51,000 when we calculated. So here only 41,000. And similarly, check Mukesh. Mukesh it was 19,500. Here 9,500. Then why this? Actually, when click and drag, there will be relative addresses. The cell reference will be changed. So I again tell you that for learning more about cell references, you have to watch my series lesson number 3 and 4. So why? We can click here, double click here, then we can find out that this is a range. Okay, blue color is highlighted as this range. Okay, B2, B10, that is a range address. What happens here when you click here, the range is shifted one cell just below it, that is range address from B2 to B3, B11. It was B2, B10 earlier. When you click here, again you can see that it is changed to just below it here. Similarly, the range we have given a range here also, E2, E10, that is the sales value. Then here click the range, then it just shifted to one cell below. Similarly, we can see from here also E3, E2, that is cell value is, that is range is shifted 2 cells to the bottom. Okay, that is why the value is first time Ajmal's value, this value is not calculated. 9,550 is not calculated. What is the solution for this? That is, one solution is we have to change the cell reference to absolute reference. We discussed in lesson 3 and 4. So for making this absolute reference, we double click here and we can select from here. That is, it is click and drag, it is selected, and you can press F4. F4. If F4 is not working for laptop, then you have to press and hold function key, Fn key, and press this. Then it has become a dollar sign before column address and row address. That is, B, before B there is a dollar sign, before 2 there is a dollar sign. Similarly, here also a dollar sign occurs. Okay, then press enter. Then here also we have to change here also. That is first cell. Then here we have to change. Similarly, press F4 for laptop. Someone's laptop, you check it, function key and F4. So there is a dollar sign comes. This is absolute reference. That is, the cell range will not change when you copy it. Now we can just click and drag. Then the value is corrected. So for Ajmal, we can check from here. Ajmal. This is the one way for getting absolute address of the range. Suppose there are another method to avoid these type of errors that we have seen in Salesman's report. That is, we can select the range and give the range names. That is, we can select this range and we give the name as salesman, then select this range and give as color, and select this range and give this as total sales. We want the colors selected, unique colors from here. Again, we give is equal to unique, then select from here and press enter. This is the one way, and another way we have discussed in filtering. You go and watch the lesson about filtering. We can have filtering from here, we can have unique, but here when you use a function you have to copy and paste special. Also I explained this in previous lesson. To avoid reference errors, you must watch lesson 1, 3 and 4 for having a detailed idea about these things. So now here we just give is equal to sum if, then tab, then now we want this color as the range here. Instead of range, selecting range, we just here it's a color. The range comes here, range names comes here, and you can see the icon here as a row and column and selected range. So tab, the range is typed here, then comma, then click here, black, for getting black, that's cell address, then click here, then again we want total sales. Instead of selecting the range, we give the range names here. We can double click here, so it is selected. Okay, just to see the sum if, instead of selecting the range address, we typed the range name. Here also total sales as the range name. So press enter, we got the value. We can click and drag. Click and drag, what happens? Then it is the correct value. For gray, it is 15,150. And suppose we can type here black, then we get 29,250. There is no errors just like here, because we have typed the here also. When you see, it is the range and here color, and at the bottom you double click here, you can see color and total sales. In this way we can avoid reference errors, and this is the actually the correct method for selecting a range. If you want to use many times, you before doing all these things, you just select the range and give the range names, and you can use this range name in your formula and there will be no reference errors. This is another method. One method we explained, that is using absolute references. And here there are two things. It is left for you to model number. You can select and give the range names and use here in total sales. We already ranged the named the range, and you can use it here, and it is left for you for doing it as an assignment. Similar to sum if, we have another function count if. Count if just count according to some criteria. So let us see it. It is very simple. When you are you mastered sum if, count if very simple. So it's equal to count if, then we can see the only two in syntax, two values are there. One is range, the other is criteria. Range, we already named the range salesman. Suppose we select the range, then actually here if you correct selection, then it shows instead of range name, sorry, instead of range address, it shows the range name. So comma, then select the criteria as the name. So press enter, then it will be numbers. Similarly here also we can give count if, then the range is, we can type here color, so it shows this. You can click here or press the tab, then again comma, then click here black, then here model, we didn't named the range model, so you can do that. It is left for you as an assignment for mastering this count if function. Here we can use the count if, so that means here count if we can give, so select it, we give the name as salesman, just type here, so it shows immediately. Then when it is selected, you can press the tab key, then comma, then this is the criteria, press enter, and you can drag it because nothing will happen. It will also show salesman. So that is we can, when you named a range, it is very easy to drag, and it will avoid reference errors. We discussed in lesson lesson 1, 4, 3 and 4. You can watch it. So here also you can use this COUNTIF very easily. These two I left for your practice, and I again ask you to see my video lesson 1, lesson 3 and 4 to avoid reference errors and to know more about ranges and range names. So that is very important in our Excel use. When you use the range, you can give the range name. Once it is named, you can easily select or type the range names. So that's all for today, and we wind up today's class. We will come next week with more functions and tips and tricks. So thank you very much. Goodbye.